Sweethearts by Sara. We have some memories, good and bad, like...
That one time we both got pulled out of class during the lice chick, and the whole rest of the year all the other kids call us the
Cootie Twins. Or how us being together made us a bigger target as a whole, rather than our individual outcast parts, but...
How we didn't care because we had each other.
I remember Cameron made me feel watched over.
If Matt Bradshaw ever came over and to insult my best friend, I'd fight him.
Usually ending up in a trip to the principal's office. But my favorite memory is when I was in my mom's old Geo Prism. Took out my lunchbox. Could have sworn there's some graham crackers in there. Inside was the most beautiful ring I've ever seen. Underneath that was a picture. A two-story house and a white picket fence.
The way you told me you always wanted your future house to look like.
Sometimes Cameron did crazy things.
Like that one time I told everybody that I was going to walk home without touching the pavement at all. Jumping from car hood to bus stop bench. But that one point where the bus stop bench was too far and...
You sprained your ankle, and everybody walked away calling you a retard.
Stupid retard.
And the memory you think I remember the most is the biggest blank of them all.
The time we spent the whole week together at your house.
I remember it was just you, me, and my mom. What I can remember, though, is for a second, I didn't feel well.
And neither did I. We walked to school together.
Watched Saturday morning cartoons together. It was like we had a real family.
And my dad came back and he was mad.
More mad than his dad usually gets.
And he gets mad a lot. Normally when he would get mad, he would hurt me. And then he would make me tell my teacher that I fell down the stairs or something stupid like that.
He didn't come to school that next day.
And I didn't come back the next day.
Or the next.
Or the next.
So I didn't talk to anybody. I didn't say anything until not knowing was worse than knowing itself. So I talked to my teacher, Mr. Brannard, and he said,
"Oh, didn't you hear? He moved away about a week ago. So go sit down so we can have our current events."
As I walked back to my desk, I realized nobody really cared or noticed that Cameron had left, except for our so-called friend, Josh.
You know, I'm glad he's gone. He was really weird.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was. I'm glad he's not hanging out with us anymore.
You didn't even know him.
Sorry, I didn't know he was your boyfriend.
Go sit with Jordana if you want to. That entire lunch I was thinking, why didn't Cameron say goodbye? Matt Bradshaw came up to me and said,
"Hey, you know that kid you always hang out with? Yeah, he died." Yeah, he did. His jump cleared the entire schoolyard, but he landed in the street. And a car was coming in, ran him over. End of story.
You're lying!
No, my mom even saw it on the news. Even Mr. Jameson said so, but he said not to tell you because you would cry. Because you always do.
So eventually I learned not to listen to Matt and still go by Cameron's house at first once a week, then a month, and year, till I became older and less attached to Cameron.
About 7 years after I left, I ran away from my dad. Dad came back. To find my best friend.
When he came back, I wasn't quite sure what to think. And just as I felt myself letting him back in,
I left. Again.
he just kept coming again and again and again and leaving me. As if I meant nothing. Sometimes I still
think about you too.
There's some people in life who leave an impression. I don't mean the usual faint mark.
Things like, he was funny.
Or she was smart.
Or he threw up in my English class once.
And these things don't only change you.
A lot of things can change you. The first person who dubbed you best friend?
The first teacher who said you were a genius.
No. I'm talking about the ones that are, for whatever reason, Just hearing their name, it
Pushes and pulls you to 1,000 different directions.
And when you try to define one of those directions,
It's useless. Which is maybe why I don't write to Cameron anymore.
and which is maybe why I don't call Jennifer as often as I should.
The pulse of unfinished business is still in my veins. We both ended up moving on,
Getting new friends.
getting new lives. My best friend asked me,
Are you in love with Cameron?
no, not in love. Doesn't love take time to develop?
It takes some thinking.
Years of it, in fact, and I've had my fair share of boyfriends.
And mine are girlfriends.
But I realized what Cameron and I have is the color
In shape of love.
And that's
The unfinished business between us.